welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video because you guys, guess what? We are going through wine country.
We're literally going into the Shire right now.
Into the Shire.
No, the Hobbit hole.
Last year, Jacob and I visited Napa and Sonoma, and I have the world's best itinerary coming at you today. This is going to be the greatest video of all time. So for starters, this was a 5-day, 4-night road trip. We flew into San Francisco, and then we were going to drive up the Sonoma Highway and then back down the Napa Highway, which really makes for a very perfect U shape. Just a big U, tour through wine country, big U shape. And we started actually in San Francisco. So I had actually never been to San Francisco, so we kind of had day one was a fun morning in San Francisco. We got to see the full house. Are you with me? The full house painted ladies, which was pretty cool. And then we did Lombard Street and then the Golden Gate Bridge, of course, and stopped for a photo op at the Golden Gate Bridge down by the beach, which was really nice. And then we made our journey to Sonoma. Hey now,
I am pushing.
Oh my gosh, I can't watch. I literally cannot watch this. Stop, Jake, stop.
No.
Stop, Jacob, stop it. I'm so scared. So while we were in Sonoma that afternoon, the first stop we made was at Ramsgate, which, guys, let me tell you, this might have been my favorite winery in Sonoma. It was so cool. Very, it was much more modern. The wine was really good. I only had one glass while I was there. So it was a pretty quick stop just to really kind of see it, and it was beautiful. I really enjoyed Ramsgate. And then after Ramsgate, we did Klein, which is definitely different. It had its own little charm about it. I think Klein has more of like an antique kind of vintage feel. The wine was great. So it has a little pond in the middle, and you can kind of walk around the pond, and the property is really gorgeous. I believe they had like petting zoo animals, which was kind of different. And the only, I would say, downfall about Klein was if you're there on a date just with your spouse, they do allow kids at Klein, which was just kind of different. Not all of the wineries in Napa had kids, but Klein does. After that, we went to Gloria Ferrer. I just did one glass of champagne there. They're kind of more known for their champagne, but it has a really beautiful view where you can kind of look out over the terrace and just see vineyards on vineyards on vineyards. Not that that's a super uncommon thing to see in Napa, but the property was really, really pretty. Then we visited Jacuzzi, which is kind of known for their olive oils. They have different olive oil tastings that you can do. They have a really cool gift shop, actually, just with like tons of really cool Napa crafted products, and it's just a really neat place. It kind of looks like if you were Romeo and Juliet, it would be where they would like taste wine. So that wrapped up our first day in Sonoma. And let me tell you, Sonoma, the town of Sonoma, is so cute and quaint. It has the biggest, most cute downtown square that you can walk around. There's tons of really cute shops. And we actually ate at a really, really fun place. It was called Girl and the Fig. Fun little restaurant. I highly recommend that you go to the Girl and the Fig. And then that night in Sonoma, we actually stayed at the Rose Garden Inn, which, super quaint. It's kind of like, it's interesting. You're kind of in an antique dollhouse, which if you're really into antiques and old vintage things, it's probably really cool. If you like more of a modern stay, then I probably would not suggest that you stay at the Rose Garden Inn. So the next day, we started with St. Francis Winery, which was awesome because they did this really cool food and wine pairing. So very, very fancy. We got to try different varieties of food that had obviously the different wine of theirs paired with it. They had a really, really great Zinfandel that we bought a bottle of to take home. And the food was phenomenal. It was just great. Now, it is more of a small bite, so definitely didn't fill Jacob up completely, but it was great. And then after that, we went to Landmark. We really only stopped for a glass there. They have a bunch of really fun yard games, really cool flowers. Like if you're into flowers and just scenery, it's a really, really pretty one. And then we did Kundi, which was kind of fun.
Is Bilbo Baggins in there?
This was just one that we kind of stumbled across. It wasn't on the plan, but while we were in Sonoma, someone had suggested it, and I am so glad that we did because it was probably one of my favorites out of the entire trip. So the views are incredible. And the wine was really good too. It's a locally family-owned vineyard that's been obviously a part of the Sonoma County for quite some time. And then obviously still making our way up the Sonoma Highway, we stopped then at Ledson Winery, which Ledson is super beautiful. We actually didn't really stop and taste any of the wine. We just it was just kind of on the way, on the drive, and it's really, really pretty. So after Ledson, we went to Castle de Amorosa, which I will say, I was a little bit disappointed with Castle de Amorosa, and maybe this was my own ignorance, but it's a castle, obviously, which is kind of cool, but it's a man-made castle, like it's very new. So it's not an old castle that they just converted into a winery. This was a castle that was made to be a winery, if that makes sense. Then that night we actually stayed in Kenwood, which is basically right at the top of our U. So we were just crossing over from Sonoma into Napa, and Kenwood was great. We stayed at a really, really beautiful hotel. We had dinner that night at, it's called Evangeline, which was a super pretty restaurant. The food was okay. It wasn't like the best food that I've ever had, but the atmosphere was really pretty. It's under like a really cool greenery terrace, like a little outdoor patio, twinkly lights, really cute. So then day 3 comes, so obviously we're now focused on Napa wine, and we had breakfast in Kenwood that morning, and then after that we went to Sterling, which I thought Sterling was really cool. We did the wine tasting and tour at Sterling. The unique part about it is you take a little aerial tram all the way up to the top, so it is kind of fun and quaint. The wine was so-so. They're more well known for their sparkling white wines, which is not necessarily my favorite preference of wine, but it was okay. The wine was okay, but the view was really cool. It's a very, very pretty view up at the top, lots of rolling hills. So after that, we actually continued our drive down Napa Highway, and the iconic Welcome to Napa sign was shortly after Sterling.
What doesn't belong in this group out here?
There's some nuns in the wine.
So
after we took our pictures, we stopped at Charles Krug, Krug, I don't really know. They have a really cool, well, it's a really pretty winery actually. It's got a more modern feel, and they do wood-fired pizzas. So we actually didn't stop for wine, we just had lunch, so I don't know what their wine tastes like, but pizza was really, really good. If you're driving the highway and you need a place to stop for food, highly suggest stopping there because they do really good wood-fired pizzas. So we drove through St. Helena, and then our next stop was at I think it's pronounced Beringer.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
I would like to buy a hamburger.
And it was nice. We were supposed to do the tour, but we were actually running late, had stopped at Bisa Tui, and got some deli like sandwiches and snacks to take us through the afternoon. So we didn't have wine at Bisa Tui, but it's kind of more well known for its really big deli. It has this super cool, huge gourmet deli that you can get different meats and cheeses and basically pack your picnic bag for when you're going to all these wineries. So we had stopped at Bisa Tui, probably spent a little bit too much time there, and then kind of ended up running late for our tour at Beringer. So we ended up just grabbing a glass of wine there, kind of perusing the property. It's a really, really pretty property as well. After that, that we did, it's pronounced Culetto or Quiletto, I believe. Now this one was a little bit off the beaten path. It's definitely not as high foot traffic as some of the other wineries that you'll see in Napa, but it was beautiful. You actually drive up this really windy road and it's got gorgeous views that you can overlook, and then it's very, very intimate. So we had a tasting with the winemaker. There were probably only, I don't know, less than 8 of us there for it, and it was great. It was very nice and just very, very beautiful, and a little bit more of an intimate setting, I suppose. So on our way back from Culetto, we stopped by Mum. I really just wanted to see it because I am a fan of their champagne. I'd had that here and it's just, I really like it. So we had stopped. I think I just got one quick glass. They have a really pretty outdoor patio. So stopped by Mum, and then we made our way to Yountville, which is where we stayed night 3. So Yountville, first off, is very, very quaint. It's probably the more uppity part of Napa, if you will. Very, very fancy, lots more luxurious, high-end. It just kind of has a more plush feel to it than really anywhere else that we stayed in Napa. We stayed at Mansion Fleur. My French is not great. Mansion Fleur, which was beautiful. Probably one of my favorite, I don't know, it might have been my favorite place that we stayed. Super cute. It's a little bed and breakfast. They have a hot tub, and the food with the breakfast was really great. They do kind of an appetizer happy hour at the B&B in the evening, and we just really, really loved it. It was fantastic. So the next day was proper Napa Cab day. Let me tell you, my favorite wine is a good Napa Cab, and I tell you what, my dreams, they were fulfilled on day 4 in wine country. So we started out at Round Pond Estate and did a tasting. Very nice. It's actually a really, really pretty one. I would suggest it. It wasn't very busy. You do need a reservation for Round Pond. And then after Round Pond, went to Silver Oak, which is one of the more famous ones of Napa, which rightfully so. They have one of the best cabs. I mean, at Silver Oak, Jacob and I did another food and wine pairing, which was really, really nice. We had a tour while we were at Silver Oak, which was really nice. It's not probably the most extravagant property, but obviously you go to Silver Oak for the wine. Right after that, we did Camus, which was incredible. You can't really beat a Camus red wine. It's just that good. So had a tasting at Camus. After Camus, we actually went to Chapelet, which is another one that's kind of off the beaten path. You kind of have to drive a roundabout way to get there, kind of up a hill, and it sits, like I said, up high, and you can see all the rolling hills. It's got a really pretty lake view, and it's just gorgeous. That night in Napa, we stayed at the Candlelight Inn, which was beautiful, super quaint. They have a pool. Each room is a little bit unique and different. We actually didn't have the breakfast there because the next morning we woke up and we did a hot air balloon ride, which was so cool. I had wanted to for so long ride in a hot air balloon. It's definitely a bucket list item for me. So we went through Napa Balloon Company. You have to get up really early in the morning to do it, which kind of stunk, but it was just a really neat experience. I would highly suggest doing that while you're in Napa. And afterwards they serve you breakfast. It's actually at Domaine Chandon, which is kind of known for their champagne. So they do kind of a champagne breakfast afterwards, after you're out of your hot air balloon. We went to Domaine Carneros afterwards, which is again another well-known champagne place. But this place, let me tell you guys, it is gorgeous. Talking just property out of all of them, it definitely ranked right up there. We did a tour and tasting there as well. And then on our way back down to the base of Napa, we stopped by Arteza Winery, or Arteza Winery. This one was really cool. We really actually didn't even stop and taste. It just, we were driving by and it looked really fancy and cool, so we stopped and took some pictures and just kind of saw it. And then obviously continued our drive south, and we stopped at Oxbow Market, which is kind of a really cool public market in the town of Napa, and had lunch before we headed to the airport. So Oxbow Market I would definitely suggest stopping at. So that's it. We had so much fun in Sonoma and Napa. I hope that you guys plan your own trip, use some of our tips and tricks. There's so many other wineries we didn't even have time to go to. And I think that's the cool part about wine country is that you can go back 10 different times and have a completely different trip each time because there's just so many different options and fun places to stop. So I'd love to hear and see and maybe comment and put in the comments below what wineries that you've been to that you love that would be a hit to go back to. And for now, you guys, that's all I have. But please consider subscribing, like this video, and we'll see you next time.
Kelly's happy.